strike and an out away from a natty. 2 outs, runner at first. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss! And all is right in the world. Tigers win! Tigers win! The national championship is headed back to Baton Rouge. The dog pile begins left of the mound. A promise made and a promise kept by Tiger head coach Jay Johnson just over 2 years ago. Said, I'm here to get LSU to Omaha and back on top of the college baseball world. And after an 18-4 victory here tonight, he has done just that.
Love the final call from Chris Blair on the LSU Radio Network. Yes, if you've been living in a cave or under a rock over the last couple of days, I don't know what is going on with your life, but a record-setting viewership at the College World Series, and that was the radio call from the hometown team. Chris Blair there with the LSU Radio Network, and the Tigers are national champions for a 7th time in their 19th appearance all-time in Omaha. Tigers fans, they certainly travel. There's many of them already embedded in the Omaha area across Nebraska, and it's become sort of an annual pilgrimage of sorts. Although, Kyle Schassburger, David Kahn with you, final edition. This is the final farewell of the 2023 college baseball season as we put a bow on the season, close the book. Tigers hadn't been there since 2017.
Yep.
But think of it. Amazingly, the team that was anointed, right, the preseason number 1, lived up to all the hype. There was a rough patch at one point in the year, dealing with pitching, dealing with the bullpen issues. You knew you were going to get halfway there with Paul Skeens, a guy like him, Mr. Universe.
Who didn't pitch in the finals.
Who did not need to pitch in the final. Now, the drama was there. It was excellent. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. It's entertainment. It's a television show. And Jay Johnson played into that in the buttons that he was pushing with Paul Skeens. And even the view of the camera that we had in the batting cage at one time when Skeens didn't even have his spikes on yet, and his stirrups were not tucked underneath the heel of his foot, and the drama had been building in exquisite ways. I loved it. All in all, I'll lead you in this way, though, Kahn. A phenomenal College World Series for 12 games.
Yeah. Well, 14 even.
Yeah, but 12 of the 14 were good.
Yeah.
And the last 2, complete blowouts.
Well, yeah, so the first
That's what I'm getting at.
Right, yeah, the last 2 games, was that games 15 and 16, I think?
I thought you just told me there were 14 total games before we
I said there were
went
14 games where they had 100 runs scored, and the final 2.
Gotcha.
I confused Shass.
You confused the hell out of me.
Give the stat meeting,
now.
I'm sorry.
Give the stat now.
I'm sorry. So the stat that I was referencing was that the first 14 games of the College World Series, there were 100 total runs scored. Then, in games 15 and 16 combined, there were 50 because there was a 24-4 shellacking delivered by the Florida Gators. And then LSU responds and goes, here's our best shot, 18-4, and we're the natty champs. Gomaha, as it was dubbed by LSU Nation. LSU wins the national title for a 7th time. That's the stat I was telling Shass beforehand, and I confused him.
16 total games.
Yes.
Dude, it was a long couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Man. I can't
But the first 14 were phenomenal.
They were.
Oh.
6 of the first 8 were all one-run games.
Yep.
But the finals, starting on Saturday, it was LSU in 11 innings, 4-3. I mean, we can go over each of the 3 games individually, but then Florida just taking LSU out behind the woodshed and waxing those Tigers 24-4.
Yeah.
And good on the Tigers for basically waving the white flag of surrender and preserving any sort of grace or sanctity that they may have, and credit LSU in just flushing that immediately. And Dylan Cruz said as much. Like, even in the immediate aftermath, 30 minutes, 60 minutes after the ball game, he was asked about how do you move forward given you just got your tails handed to you by 20 runs, mind you. He's like, we already forgot about it.
Yeah.
We already forgot.
It's
and
cool.
then Dylan Cruz goes out and buys cigars for everyone, or his dad gets them for the entire team. This is following Sunday's loss, 24-4.
By 20 runs.
By 20 runs. And thankfully, we didn't have a Sunday dog pile because it was very weird last year. Daylight,
Yes.
Ole Miss, knocking off Oklahoma. Like, give it to me under the lights, right?
Yeah.
This revamped schedule of giving us the Sunday day game. And then on Monday night, LSU going out in style, answering in a way I don't think any of us ever could have expected, beating the Gators and holding them to just 4 runs in the process. 4 runs on 5 hits while leaving 18 runners on base themselves. And we'll get to the LOB number for LSU, another miraculous figure from this series, and just really encapsulates how wild it was that LSU was able to win the fashion they were, but 18-4. They win by 14 runs, pound out a College World Series single-game record, 24 hits. They do leave on 18, but 18-4. The dog pile ensued. Favorite moment of the dog pile, Paul Skeens putting Alex Milazzo on his back. Really the only negative, but turned into a positive, was the Milazzo injury, trying to score earlier in that contest.
And I think the official word is he broke his fibula.
But surgery is not needed.
Not needed. 4 to 6 week recovery for a broken fibula?
Dude, I'll break my fibula any day of the week if that's all the time I'm looking at.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I saw a broken shin. I saw a broken leg. Maybe it's all the same thing. I don't know.
I was half expecting the bone to pop out through there.
Yeah.
Because it was
gruesome.
They didn't even show the replay initially.
No. The ankle was twisted in all kinds of weird ways. Here's the thing that surprised me the most. We talked about going into this finals how Florida's pitching was set up perfectly, right? You go Sproat, Waldrop, Caglione, 1, 2, 3. And Kevin O'Sullivan's like, yeah, we're good. Like, bullpen's fresh. We're fresh. Everything's fine. LSU's just played 4 games in 4 days. They won them all, and they're, ready to try and, shock the college baseball world by coming out of the loser's bracket and winning. And then Sproat, Waldrop, and Caglione were horrible. Sproat was the best, and he went 4 innings. He goes 4 innings, give up 6 hits, 2 runs, 7 Ks. Waldrop goes 2 1/3, worst start of the season for my money. And then Cags can't get out of the second. He goes an inning and a third. So what happened?
The Waldrop game didn't matter. Florida had enough in the bullpen following Sproat. But, yeah, the Gator pitching, and we had knighted them most of the year. It was them and Wake Forest, 2 best pitching staffs, hands down.
Yep.
Those would be the 2 main challengers. Those were who I picked in my final once we got a second go at it after I initially picked Wake Forest and Arkansas. But once we reset the field following a regional weekend, it's like, all right, Wake Forest and Florida. And, my heart told me LSU because, of the obvious. We've talked about it, documented it. But I felt Wake Forest still would find a way and LSU would implode, would find a way to blow up, especially pitching-wise.
The bullpen, yeah.
But the bullpen did not. Now, it teetered, on Sunday, but you had to. You give up. And I couldn't help but chuckle. Christian Little's out there in a 10-run deficit, and I believe I called
just getting
this.
hammered.
The only way you're going to see Christian Little is in a 10-run game, and he's going to give up a home run.
I mean, dude, they threw Bryce Collins, Blake Money, Christian Little, and Sam Dutton. Little hadn't pitched since pre-postseason. Collins hadn't pitched since May 14th. Money, I think, pitched once in Hoover, maybe. And then Dutton, I don't know the last time Dutton pitched either. They threw, for lack of a better term, their B squad. To say, hey, you got to eat this one. We're going to go back tomorrow. Everyone thought they were going to throw Skeens. They didn't. Apparently, the plan for Paul Skeens was if it became a 5-run game or fewer, he would come in, whenever that was. Never got that close. No. LSU just ran Florida over like a dump truck.
And so all the speculation heading in, and you called Florida winning this in what, 2 games?
Yeah, I thought they were going to take care of business.
Florida in 3 games. So your prognostication proved inaccurate after game 1. I still had a chance after game 2, but neither of us were right.
No.
But yeah, the only bit of suspense. I mean, here we'll take you through the final game, and again, Saturday's was the best game. It was the
oh my God.
It was the differentiating game. I mean, that should have been the rubber match, right? But that's what we got to begin the series. Florida goes up 2-0 on Monday night. This is the winner-take-all, Game 3. LSU comes back with 6 runs in the second.
Mm-hmm.
Cags has gone, to your point. LSU tacks on 4 more in the 4th, 1 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and 4 more for good measure in the 9th inning. They led 14-4 in the 9th. Dylan Cruz goes out, maybe the greatest player to ever don an LSU uniform. Just complete package. 5-tool. He'll be 1 or 2 in the draft behind Skeens.
Golden Spikes
Award winner, which was announced. And you were, we'll circle back, you were surprised initially. And I'm sure, you can argue.
Yeah.
You can argue him and Skeens all day. I think it was Caglione was always going to finish on the outside.
Yep.
But deservingly was part of that final 3. But Cruz goes out 4 of 6 day. Tommy White went 4 for 7. Trey Morgan went 3 for 6. Braden Jobert, welcome to the party, 4 for 7. Mr. Hollywood, Netflix future and all, finally found a bat. But Jordan Thompson was the one that was getting most of the rub from his own fans. 1 for 30. 1 for 30 entering that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to collect a couple of hits in key spots, and the fans of LSU were even chanting and cheering him on at one point. We even saw Jared Jones, get a bat.
Thank God. Good for him.
I thought he was going to hit one to the moon in the ninth inning. Now, he did single up the middle, but my goodness, freshmen are not built like that. He fell into favor with Jay Johnson midway through the year, was able to get a pinch hit opportunity in the final game. I mean, you were just emptying the bench. Hayden Travinski had to come in after Milazzo's injury, but Thatcher Hurd, man, what a start. Just setting the tone, was able to weather the storm. It reminded me of that regular season finale series against Georgia when he gave up 2 homers. They had to force extra innings. Hurd, though, stayed out there, weathered the storm, and pitched maybe his best game in relief, and that ended up becoming a catalyst for him for the postseason, for the SEC tournament and for the NCAA tournament, and the bullpen, I think, fed off of him in a lot of ways. But Hurd getting the start in this moment, sensational. Again, the transfers, Hurd, Skeens, and Tommy White. I mean, Jay Johnson has the formula. The formula's there for anybody else to take it, but he utilized it in ways that no one has been able to this point. And I don't know if anybody else this is prisoner of the moment stuff, but, man, to catch lightning in a bottle in that way, be preseason number 1 and have it all come together, I mean, we might not see – it's early. We may not see it in the transfer portal era, but we may not see something like that again. This ended up being a super team.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Blair encapsulated it perfectly in his final call. Promise made, promise kept. 129 days ago from when LSU won, they were the preseason number 1 on February 17th. Well, they finished as the number 1 team in the country, as all of us expected them to at the beginning of the year. Now, as the year progressed with all the injuries and them tailing off, we're like, I don't know. And they proved us all wrong and went on and won it. But Jay Johnson said, like, January 12th, like, they were discussing this. Their first meeting as a team. Their only goal was to win it all. It was never win the SEC tournament. It was never win the SEC regular season. It was never win a regional. It was never win a super regional. It was go to Omaha and win the whole damn thing. And that's exactly what they did. You spotlighted Thatcher Hurd. I want to spotlight Riley frickin' Cooper. Holy smokes. Big fella comes in and delivers 9 2/3 innings of 5-hit, 1-run ball with 9 strikeouts and 3 saves in the College World Series. I'm going to say that again. 9 2/3, 1 run, 5 hits, 3 saves in Omaha. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that LSU had to play, like I said, 4 days in a row, Monday to Thursday. And the guy was just like, I'm not taxed. I'm fine. We're good. I got it. It's no big deal. Just took care of business. Amazing.
Riley Cooper shoved, man. I love that dude. I'm going to miss that guy. What was it? Stephen Schock was coming up with, like, the most
the doodliest
dude.
Yes.
Riley Cooper's one of those dudes.
Yeah, I agree.
He
had
dudes.
Cade Beloso on his list, which also, like, for sure, Cade Beloso, who wore the first pitch of Game 3 from Jack Caglione, and you and I were both watching
He's leading
that.
off.
Yeah, you and I were both watching that together, and first of all, we go, why the heck is Cade Beloso leading off? And then first pitch, we go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Cags is off. Cags was off the entire game that he lasted.
He got it together, though. He got out of the first inning, and he looked unhittable for a stretch of like 3 or 4 hitters after, solving what we thought were the control issues. But no, the same issues that plagued him all year long reared its ugly head again.
3 walks.
Riley Cooper, I just go back to when I called those Arkansas LSU games, and I see him warming up in the bullpen down the right side, and I didn't even need my binoculars. It's like, and I'm speaking to the Arkansas fans primarily, but I'm like, if I were to guess, I can tell by the silhouette of his body and the hair that is just, curling out from the back of his cap, that is Mr. Riley Cooper. And Cade Beloso, his father brought, I think it was jambalaya into the press box when I was down there in Baton Rouge.
That's right.
I mean, that's the same man that brought a 25-pound gator up to Omaha
and roasted it.
Threw him on the smoker before Game 2.
Yes.
God, what a guy. LSU fans, man, they're just built different.
So many great moments, man.
Wake Forest fans will tell you they're built in the most ugliest of ways.
But they weren't ready for it. They weren't ready. They were not ready for
the
smoke that LSU Nation was going to deliver upon Demon Deacon faithful. And you know what? That's fine because it doesn't happen in the ACC that way. Wake Forest doesn't have that, bitter. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Who's the bitter rival for Wake Forest? I mean, people could argue
themselves.
Yeah, or you could argue anybody in the state of North Carolina, but I don't know. It's not LSU's a different beast.
Yeah.
And that's why we say, like, people go, oh, it's SEC. You guys talk SEC all the time. Well, yeah, they're the best damn conference in the country.
They've won 4 consecutive national championships,
Yeah.
all different teams.
Yes.
All different. Vanderbilt in 19, Mississippi State in 21, Ole Miss in 22, now LSU in 23. The powerhouse moniker that they have leaned on all season long comes to fruition, and the Intimidator in right field just now is covered with the logo for their national championship they just earned. The 6 stars around home plate represent each of the previous national titles, their first title since 2009.
Yep. They're 7th overall.
They will give the Intimidator a new facelift with all 7 titles prior to the start of next season.
It was crazy just to look at the SEC. Herb Vincent, who works with Greg Sankey in the SEC, tweeted this the other day. They've won the last 4 national championships in both football and baseball. 13 of the last 17 football titles. 9 of the last 14 baseball titles. 5 different schools have won those football titles. 6 have won those 9 of 14 baseball titles. I mean, it's a powerhouse conference, but it's not the same team winning it every year.
No.
There's a new team, like you said, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU. They're all in the SEC, but they're all way different teams. And guess who wasn't there this year? Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. None of them were in Omaha, and LSU was, and they won it all.
Speaking of Ole Miss, hat tip to DK, David Kellum.
Yes,
in
the
our
building.
offices today. The voice of the
Finally
of
got
the
to meet
Rebs.
him.
His daughter actually lives in the state, not far from our studio. So him and his lovely wife were both inside touring. The voice of Ole Miss and the Rebs got to call the Natty last year, and his 43rd, 44th year of calling baseball.
Crazy.
Like, dude, insane.
Lifer.
Legend. Absolute lifer. Yeah, tell me about this. Jay Johnson, the first coach to win a title prior to his 3rd season at an institution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand LSU pumping that out, and it may be shown up on an ESPN graphic. But why is Chris Lemonis not in that same conversation? Like, COVID's the only – like, let's not count the COVID –
Wow. I didn't
that's
think
a
about
weird
that.
technicality. He began in 2019.
Yeah, but 2020, I guess, so they said year at a school. So
I know.
technically he's at the school for the year.
It's a semantics.
But if you want to go by seasons, yes, then Lemonis would be included because I have the same thing pulled up.
Like, if
as
I'm
well.
Mississippi State people, I've already got a lot of aggression, a lot of hostility
yeah.
that's been building up here.
And you're going, what the hell?
A lot of anger. So I was looking through, like, some threads and replies on Twitter, trying to go down that rabbit hole, and we know the cesspool that the Twitter machine can be. But I didn't see a lot of venom being spewed. But, yeah, I thought I would bring that up, that Chris Lemonis did win a title in his 2nd full season,
right?
Completed season,
yes.
as did Jay Johnson.
Yes.
So they both have done it.
It's semantics, but if you say year versus season.
But for Lemonis, I suppose, yeah, it is year 3 because you only played 15, 18 games in year 2.
Yeah, which, unfortunate, but you know what? Mississippi State, you still won a title. You partied. Stark Vegas was alive and well, and congratulations. We do need to give a hat tip on the Florida side to Ty Evans. Ty Evans started Game 3 with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 1st. The first player ever to hit 5 home runs at the Men's College World Series. I know Florida lost. I know they lost in a boat racing fashion. But what a College World Series Ty Evans had. Goodness gracious. There's a reason he was on the all-tournament team. He is phenomenal.
Love the call, too, from Monaco on the first one. When Monaco had the call on Sunday, it was Ravi on Saturday and Monday for the deciding game. So Monaco was on a plane heading home. We love him, friend of the program.
Yes.
Again, if you missed that conversation, there's still a lot of relevant things in there. Go back, College Sports Now, wherever you get your podcasts. I don't think I ever properly teed up the show. But anyways, he's at SportsCon4. I'm at Kyle Schass. You heard Chris Blair to start the program. We thank you for watching on the Varsity Channel live all season long, or for all the audio OGs, wherever you get your podcasts. But that first bomb from Ty Evans that just, it looked like he yanked it foul. I mean, like,
and way up in the air.
Way in the air. Like, golfed it out, but the wind, which was pushing on that day in that direction, just kept, pushing it, and it bended its way around the pole, and it was a good, genuine, authentic call from Monaco that I really liked. It was like, oh, that's foul. Oh, no, it's a home run, and it was really cool in the moment. Evans,
51-degree launch angle.
Yeah, and then to have the grand slam later in that contest too, just the knockout punch, if you will. That was the game that featured some incredible launch angles. Well, Jack Caglione,
56-degree launch angle.
The average launch angle for home runs in Major League Baseball, I think, was like 40.
No, it's 28 to 32.
28 to 32. And I think the longest or the most extreme launch angle was what, 48?
Yeah.
This year?
That they could find.
They could find.
Like
all
going
time.
back.
And Cags has a 56-degree launch angle blast.
That went nearly 400 feet.
I got everything I needed out of the series, Kahn. I got 2 Cags home runs there. Langford hit an absolute tanks.
God. He has the 2 longest home runs in men's College World Series history.
456 and 449. 49.
Yeah. Dude, that man is built different. Like Wyatt Langford
I said
will be
it to you last year when I'm like, dude, that's a fire hydrant.
He will be drafted 3rd behind Skeens and Cruz, 1 and 2. Where they go, we don't know. Kyle, whatever his name, Kylie McDaniel, is that right?
Riley
McDaniel. I don't know. I forget. Sorry.
He's fairly new to this.
The projector ESPN, I think it's Kylie McDaniel. I don't know. Has swapped them multiple times, so we'll see what happens. It'll be Skeens and Cruz 1 and 2. We know that
Kylie
for a fact.
McDaniel,
Yeah, and Langford will be 3rd. Jack Caglione, by the way, tying Ivan Melendez for the single-season home run record.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it
in the
unless
BB
you
Core
remembered
era.
last year.
Yeah, but Florida tweeted that he set the record. That's not true. He tied Ivan Melendez because Melendez had 33 a season ago, and Cags finished with 33. Yeah. He's still part of the record books, but he didn't break the record. He tied it.
Record-setting, yeah. Like, I take offense or umbrage to record-setting year because the record was set last year.
Correct.
Record-tying year.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, look, phenomenal year for Cags. Golden Spikes Award finalist. And he's not even. This is
he'll be the favorite.
He's not a
He'll
draftable.
be the
he's
favorite.
A sophomore.
He's got to figure it out though in the mound.
Well, they brought up a lot of good
I
points about him coming back from Tommy John. Sometimes it takes another year to get that control under you. So let's see how he's going to be the ace of the Florida staff next year.
Like
I would imagine, unless they go dip their
Did we find out
toe
where
in the transfer portal.
Did we find out where Luke Holman was going?
Well, let me see. I have the D1 baseball transfer tracker up right now.
So we know Florida got Kobe Shelton.
Yes, they got Shelton from Alabama. Let's see. Holman has not picked a destination yet.
Okay. Now, Now, we're kind of jumping around, but while you're on the transfer portal, Wake had 2 guys go in.
Yes.
Ciceri and Corona.
Wake actually has a lot of guys go in. Luke Costello, Ciceri, Corona, Gio Cueto, and Derek Crum are all in the portal.
But they did pick up
and Rob O'Connor and Will Ray, but Will Ray has said he's coming back.
They picked up the other Hawk, Tommy's brother from North Carolina.
Yes. And they picked up Seaver King from Wingate, who apparently is a stud. I've been hearing so many good things from him from the Winston-Salem faithful and people around the area. Seaver King apparently is like the next big thing.
The thing to know, folks, is, look, transfer portal has been spinning
yes.
for over a month since the regular seasons came to an end for so many teams. Again, conference tournament week. Once we got through the league tournaments, it was game on for everyone but 64 teams nationally who were still in it. TCU. And Chase Burns for Tennessee was rumored to be very close. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe he is staying at Tennessee because a UT donor stepped up big time to match a 6-figure offering that Burns was going to get in Fort Worth if he went to TCU. But, Peyton Toll of Wichita State.
And Ben Hampton from West Virginia also going to TCU. Second straight year, a Mountaineer has become a Horned Frog because Austin Davis did it last year.
Yes. So this portal, which has already been percolating, now we've got the teams that were just in Omaha, like this national champion winning LSU team.
Mm-hmm.
You think Christian Little is going to hang around another year?
Mm-mm.
No.
He gone.
So you're going to see guys that we have come to learn about so much over the last 10 days, 2 weeks, that are going to find themselves a new home.
I'm scrolling through the transfer portal right now just to see if there's any other big names that pop out. There's an LSU transfer already that's going to a JUCO school, but that's not it wasn't really that relevant this year.
Okay, well, speaking of the portal.
Cannon Peebles, Tennessee.
Cannon Peebles.
There it is. That's what I'm looking
for. NC
for.
State's freshman stud catcher going to Tennessee.
NC State fans are not pleased.
That's back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Tommy White and now Peebles.
Yes.
going to the SEC.
Yes.
Corey Muscara staying put at Wake Forest.
Yeah. How about that?
Rumor was, excellent reporting from Les Johns, Demon Deacon Digest, that he was the front runner for the Penn State head coaching job. Obviously, he had business still to attend to up until a week ago. So Penn State was holding out hope, but Tom Walter was able to talk him into staying. I don't know how much talking into needed to be done, considering
we almost won the whole thing.
Penn State head coaching job, Big Ten. Yes, I'm disparaging and throwing dirt on a middle-of-the-road to lower-tier Big Ten program. But, again, Big Ten versus everything you have at your disposal, pitching lab. Every time I hear the pitch, I don't want to hear the word pitching lab, the two words put together.
ESPN over discussed
for
it.
6 months.
Dude, it was like every 2 innings, either they were showing Trey Morgan's dad or they were talking about the pitching lab.
Yeah. So Corey Muscara is going to stay put. I thought he'd be a great candidate in Baton Rouge, but and I haven't heard anything yet out of there because, again, Wes Johnson has become the new head coach at Georgia. How about that? The Dogs get a national champion winning pitching coach with big league experience.
Good for them.
Program on the rise.
You think?
Got to keep Charlie Condon.
Hey, how about Chris Pollard not going to Miami?
Chris Pollard not going to Miami.
So they promote
showing loyalty.
Their pitching coach, longtime assistant coach, to the head coach job. Chris Pollard, though, basically leveraging his position with Duke to get promises of new facilities, a bunch of other stuff, a raise. That man has said, look, this program's on the rise and I want to lead it, but you got to give me the tools to do so. And they were like, here's the keys to the castle, Chris.
Did that not shake out the way I told you it would?
Yeah.
I mean, you agreed. It's kind of a no-brainer. As long as you know a little bit about Pollard as a person and, again, what he's built and Duke and, again, the resource, the endowment, all of those things. Dude, if somebody's going to come calling, I thought it was going to be the SEC, if anything. Right. But if it's your same league, too.
I don't think.
And I understand it's Miami, and there's a lot of tradition there. But, that ain't no Miami.
No,
dude.
I don't think anywhere else besides LSU would have been a calling card for him, and that would have been a pitching coach role. Or Georgia would have been a role for him. But I don't think he would have left for anywhere else other than the SEC.
So J.D. Artiga.
Yes.
Is the one who is now next tasked with leading the Hurricanes on the diamond. Tom Walters stays put at Wake Forest.
Which I kind of thought would happen.
Chris Pollard stays put at Duke. And then, speaking of Pollard, Josh Jordan, who was a former Duke assistant, who's the first base coach,
right.
I believe. But he gets himself an Addy, and I saw a lot of praise, being showered from the Duke circles. And Pollard, certainly, who's happy to see his former assistant, Josh Jordan, win a national championship with the LSU Tigers. Anything else from a coaching, transfer portal standpoint? Otherwise, you give me some of your final thoughts on the series. I mean, again, game one, we hadn't talked about it enough.
Tommy White.
4-3. Tommy White delivers the equalizer in the 8th inning, solo shot. The hero from 2 nights prior comes up big again, forces the game into extras. We go to the 11th inning. Oh, by the way, Ty Floyd, 17 stinking
we didn't talk
strikeouts.
About this. Oh, my gosh.
17 strikeouts on Saturday night? Are you kidding me? And
he had the most strikeouts in a College World Series game in a 9-inning game. Yeah. Tied Ed Bain from 1972 for ASU. The record is 20. Steve Arlen for Ohio State in 1965. That came in 15 innings, though, so he tied the 9-inning record at the Men's College World Series with Ed Bain from 1972 when he shoved 17 down the Gators' throats.
That's awesome, dude.
Amazing.
So cool. And
he was dialed in.
And then Cade Beloso, top of the 11th.
Boom.
Solo shot. Leading off the inning. LSU goes on to win 4-3. And closing the door on that one, I mean, it was Floyd and it was Cooper again.
Yep.
Riley Cooper, man. He could have been the most outstanding player, not Skeens.
Yeah. Skeens didn't even – people are like, oh, Skeens didn't pitch in the finals. He can't be the most outstanding player. Well, listen to this number.
What is it, 15? How many innings?
In 28 2/3 innings, Skeens and Floyd allowed just 14 hits and 7 walks while striking out 48 and holding foes to a 143 average. They had 48 strikeouts in 28 2/3 combined and allowed just 14 hits.
Sick.
Amazing. People are saying, oh, well, the all-tournament team is bogus because it's just Florida and LSU. Who else are you going to put on there? Maybe Danny Corona. Maybe. Lauder wasn't amazing. I don't think he deserves a spot. He was great all year, but I don't think he deserves to be on the
no
tournament
Wake
team.
Forest presence. There was some salty Demon
But
Deacon
who do you
fans.
put on there?
Yeah.
Danny Corona?
It's just the way it's
Maybe?
shaped. Yeah,
Like,
he'd be the only one.
yeah,
he'd be the only one
That's
that
it.
that would get consideration.
TCU doesn't get anybody on
when
there.
you got Skeens,
or
when
Roberts,
you got Floyd
Virginia,
throwing
Stanford,
17
no.
Ks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not happening.
No. Tennessee, no.
It's going to be primarily Florida.
Yeah,
and LSU
as it
guys.
should be. Like Danny Corona is the only person I think that may have had a case. That's it. That's all I got. Maybe, and like Hartle, no, because he only pitched once.
I can't believe it took us this long. 30 minutes. 68,888 Jello shots.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Jello shots. Spelled
68,000
EAUX Jello shots.
888. Gordon McKernan just throwing his fat checkbook. Who uses a checkbook or carries a checkbook?
Do you have a
Taking out
checkbook?
that no.
Okay.
Taking out that rock of an Amex.
Yes.
That brick Amex. That
probably covered in diamonds.
maybe the most the injury attorney of most fame in, I believe, the state of Louisiana. Now, there's a lot of them in the Deep South. I mean,
yeah.
I think of Morris Bart. I'm trying to think of some guy. But get Gordon and Gordon McKernan. I mean, heck, I live down there. You went to school in Louisiana. Like, you're no stranger to Gordon. You
I know
see
Gordon.
his big body
Oh,
and
yeah.
his suit on his obnoxious billboards. He built this palace new office when I lived down there right off I-10.
I've seen it.
Near college. And he always decks it out for the holidays, the biggest gnomes, the biggest, brightest lights. So he wants everything to be big and extravagant. Well, he was big and extravagant on Monday around noon, right?
Yeah.
I think it was because we were
Just
eating lunch.
slapping that Amex down.
Slapping it down and ordering
8,888 Jello shots. It was funny because you look at the receipt and Rocco's is ordering, putting 100, 100, 100, 100, and they just got tired of it. And you're like, you know what? Screw it. 6,000. And you see one order, 6,000 shots, $30,000. And you're just like, what? What in the heck?
So that's $44,000, 440. $44,440.
Yes.
Spent on 8,888 Jello shots on Monday.
You want the total
Now
overall?
in total, well, you got it for me, so give it to me.
Were you about to say it? The total overall?
Yeah, $344,440 just from LSU fans.
Yes.
Do you have the total
I do.
amount
I have
consumed by all 8 teams that were represented? They're fans.
So the total price is $475,000 spent on Jello shots. You divide that by 5, 95,000 Jello shots consumed at Rocco's in a 12-day period. That is an average of 7,917 Jello shots a day. That's ridiculous. Now,
if this is a dream, I don't ever want to wake up.
Here's the cool thing. Of that 475K, 95,000 was donated to food banks across America for schools, and half of that, if you divide that by 2, another 47,500 of that was donated to a local Omaha food bank. So, in total, $142,500 was donated to food banks, either to the schools that bought the shots or to Omaha.
That's awesome.
Phenomenal.
Incredible.
But yeah, $475,000 on Jello shots, 95,000 Jello shots consumed, nearly 70,000 by LSU. And all of these were drank, by the way. They were purchased and taken.
We knew 50K was obtainable collectively once we knew LSU was going there.
Right.
Like, they better be ready for 50K.
Yes.
They sold nearly 100,000 Jello shots, and they racked up almost $500,000 in sales, with so much going to a good cause and charity.
Here's my question.
You get a T-shirt too, by the way, which I want one. A Rocco's purple commemorative Jello shots shirt, and it has a picture of the board with all 8 teams and the final tallies on the backside.
Who could not just pony up another 1,112 Jello shots
to get them to 70?
No. Oh yeah, 70. Yeah. Or another 112, get them to 69,000.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
nice. Come on.
What are we doing? I figured if anyone's going to do that, it's LSU. Just 112 Jello shots. That's what? $560? People got that in their back pocket in Baton Rouge, apparently. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Riley Cooper should have been the one.
Do you think the players went to Rocco's after they won it all and got some
so.
Jello shots? The ones of age?
Yes. Intel tells me that they're up until at least 4 or 5 in the morning, as they should be.
Okay.
I don't know what these places on Monday night, they know they've got to remain open till 2. I don't know if they're able to push it till 3, but either way, incredible. We've crowned another national champion.
We did it.
Another season in the books. So many great memories, so many great moments.
Paul Skeens, by the way, D1 Baseball Player of the Year, well-deserved,
yes.
after Dylan Cruz wins the Golden Spikes Award.
Collegiate Baseball Coach of the Year, Jay Johnson. Dylan Cruz taking home the college baseball equivalent of Heisman, the Golden Spikes Award. So another season, man. Another year of doing podcasts.
Yes.
Too.
This is year 2 for me.
Year 2 with
3
you.
for you.
4 or 5.
4.
Yeah, 4.
If you include the 20. Well, if
4.
you include the 2020 season.
Yeah, we got a couple episodes. And,
so yeah, 4 for you, 2 for me.
It's been great, though. It's been an absolute blast getting to do these with you each week and twice a week, since basketball ended.
Yes.
We appreciate all the listenership, the interaction, those that follow us, those that participate in the Bracket Challenge. Again, Dustin Johnson, not the golfer, was our winner. We heard from him last week. I will be celebrating with him tomorrow night at his humble abode. Little sleepover action. So we will we will drink many beers.
Are you making Nashville hot chicken again?
No, we're going to do chicken Phillies tomorrow.
Ooh,
chicken Phillies.
Very
Already been decided.
Love it. Okay.
I think he'll take care of buying the food, and I pick up the beer, or vice versa, and make sure the kids have chicken fries, a little bit of macaroni and cheese, and responsibly. We just all hang out, and so yeah, he will get his reward, his trophy, if you will.
Okay.
For winning the Bracket Challenge, which I don't know exactly what that is. I guess I'll just shoulder a little bit more of the costs.
Just
whatever tomorrow.
Swing it. Figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And to Michael Surber at L_Surberino for his contributions, and I love him very much, and I wish he was able to make himself more available at times. But hey, look, he's a busy guy.
man.
He is look, when you're the producer for Shutdown Fullcast and you're getting a paycheck from Meadowlark, that's going to trump this at times. Okay, I understand.
He does a lot of work.
A little peek behind the curtain.
He's got hand in the dirt.
He's
got his hand literally in the dirt every week. He's going to Pinehurst and
he's got to work on his golf
nearly
game.
breaking
Yeah,
100. I
look,
mean,
he's got a beautiful wife
dude,
at home. He's got
Trip
to take care
Hurd
of.
shot a 75 at Pinehurst yesterday.
Yeah, par 68.
So
Yeah, I know.
that's 7 over.
That's good.
I would kill for that. I would literally kill for that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was thinking about getting out there at 5:30 today.
Oh, wow.
But my arm was a little tingly when I woke up this morning, so I think I'm still dealing. I've been lifting too heavy because the arm was feeling a lot better. The tennis elbow was subsiding.
Yep.
But I think I slept on it wrong, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I go to the gym at 3:30 today or 4 o'clock.
Right. Whenever we get done with the meeting.
Yeah, we got more meetings, man.
Yes.
Too many meetings on Thursdays. Too many meetings.
Yes, but no, it's another great season, my man. As I said last year, and as I've said throughout this whole endeavor, I wouldn't want to do this to anybody else. Thank you, man. This is my favorite part of the year, just getting to sit down and talk shop with you for hours on end, whether it's 45 minutes or 2.5 hours or 7 hours in a car ride. Don't matter.
You bring the bread, man. I got the juice. Okay.
The juice is worth the squeeze, though.
It very much is. Touche. Yes, thank you, man. Love you. Love all the listeners. Love Serbs. Love Learfield for providing us with this opportunity, at least this platform, for us to do whatever we want with it. So hopefully we do a halfway decent job. Find us at CS Now Tweets on Twitter. I'm at Kyle Schass. He's at SportsCom4 at L_Surberino if you want to check in on Serbs. We'll try to bring you some content around the fall. We'll try to drop maybe another pod like we did this past year, fall ball pod. Maybe we can see about getting Jay Johnson on,
Do our best.
Since we had
we tried. We did try.
We
put in some heavy work trying to get somebody from LSU on the podcast, current and former players, coaches. Didn't happen. It's too busy. Baton Rouge is a party city right now. Nobody's phones are working. Social media is just completely unplugged. They're on a week-long parade.
Yeah, and that's why it took us a couple extra days to get to you. But that'll do it for the pod. Appreciate it. Rate, review, subscribe. Drop us some feedback either on social media or wherever you get your podcast. So for Kahn, I'm Schass, Serbs, and to all of you, we love you. We'll talk to you again soon, all right?